What's up? I was just telling John, and now I guess I'm talking to Zen. Zen, thank you for always being the first person ready to go, even before we're here. You know, number one, Zen. Number one.
Ichiban. Ichiban.
Ichiban, always there. We haven't even started. He's always there waiting. He's already chatting. He always says hello, chat. So we got some laundry to do here. You want to do it now or at the end? Do it at the end.
Mm,
We'll announce the winner at the end. Make them listen to the whole
okay.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make them listen to the whole thing. Yeah. So if you're part of that left hook contest, you gotta listen to us chat about whether or not celebrities should be fighting, and then
Celebrities.
we'll let you know who the winner of the left hook is at the end of that. It's not a celebrity. Spoiler alert: the winner of the left hook contest is not a celebrity. Maybe in our hearts, he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe one day
He's a celebrity.
he's coming up.
He's coming up.
So today's topic. Some things that inspired this, and I'm going to put it out there right now. It's as of right now, it's fake news. Okay, so anybody listening right now, I'm not gonna, I don't want to spread any fake news, so I'm going to say it right off the bat. It's fake news. People have been talking on the internet about a possible fight between the owner CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, and the CEO of Twitter. Good
Elon.
lord,
Elon this.
Elon Musk. So first off, it's fake news. Okay, so if anybody's watching this right now, and I don't want to be pushing it out there, but one of the things that it got me thinking about, which is why I brought it up to John, was how much attention it got, and I started thinking about how much money they could have possibly made if they actually stepped into the ring. They were talking about a possible MMA match. So then I started thinking about celebrity fights
Yeah.
in general, and I found a good amount of different celebrities that actually fought. So I'll throw this list out there, and then we'll talk about whether they should be fighting. Kim Kardashian, she actually did a boxing match in 2009. She said she didn't want to do it, and she stepped in there and got rocked. But she did what she went in. She took a lot of punches, and she decided to take on the fight, and she lost the fight. But she went in there and she fought. That was in 2009. She gave her money to charity, by the way. Just gonna throw that out there.
How much?
They don't mention how much. They don't mention how much money it was made, but they do say that she gave her share to charity. And it looks like she fought someone who's not a celebrity as well. She actually fought another boxer, which talk about talk about a risky move on her part. Justin Trudeau, the now Prime Minister of Canada, boxed a Canadian senator named Patrick I probably spell this wrong, say this wrong, Brazow in 2012. They don't mention anything about where the money went, so I'm guessing they kept that money. And
I would
Justin
never.
actually
He would. I would think. I would think Kim Kardashian would fight before Trudeau. I mean, he's probably the of all the politicians around the world, he's probably just the wimpiest, softest looking one ever. You know, so I bet you it's like 90% of the women are probably have more testosterone than him. So it's surprising that he would fight.
well, she fought in 2009, and then he fought. But this is before he was the prime. I don't know when he became prime minister. I shouldn't say that too early. He fought in 2012. So I don't. Let me. When did Justin become prime minister? Date was 2015. Okay, so this is before he was prime minister. He took on this fight. So he was probably just
Yeah,
at this point he's just a politician, and he won his fight. He won. He won. Yeah.
I gotta see who he fought. He had to fight like somebody without any arms or something.
I think he fought another politician, right?
Mm.
Yeah, the now Prime Minister of Canada boxed a Canadian senator named Patrick. So there's two You know what? I gotta give him credit for two politicians stepping into the ring and douching it out. I'll give him props for that. Two politicians decided to take it out, get off the podium, and step into the ring and put on some gloves. But in Kim's case, she actually fought a fight. So I'm getting off topic here. The main topic, though, and this is the idea, and we'll pass this on to John and see what he thinks. Fighters, actual fighters, not celebrities, spend their whole lives training their asses off and decide to put everything on the line to make everything they can from fighting for whatever reason. Maybe they came from a bad background, or maybe they just wanted to do it. And the fighting game's not an easy game to be in. So maybe some of them make it, a lot of them don't. So some people might feel that this is not fair to people that are not celebrities, like just fighters or regular fighters trying to make their way up. That a celebrity can just come in and they already have money, they already have enough money to feed their families, but the fighters, a lot of them don't. So the controversy is, should celebrities be allowed to step into the same arena and make a kind of payout? Should there be some sort of that would just go from there? That concept right there. John, what do you have to say?
I think there's enough to go around. I think just because one makes more doesn't mean the real fighter will make less. I think the more that's out there, the more publicity that anyone brings into a sport like fighting, the more the fighters will. It'll go to the fighters too because it'll become more popular. Um, I don't know if two celebrities wanted to go play volleyball or football or baseball, they could do that, without worrying about how much money anyone else makes. I don't know. I think it's a good thing. Sometimes it's stupid, and they make stupid matches sometimes. But I think I think it doesn't take anything away from real fighters, but it does bring more attention. So it gives them more potential money for real fighters. So I think it's a win-win.
All right. So,
I don't think there's a downside to it at all. No downside.
and then what about the idea that, so in some of these celebrity matches, we'll start with Kim Kardashian's match. She did give her money to a charity. I forgot what it was, but in her case, she actually fought a fighter. Like, she did not fight another celebrity, right? She actually fought a fighter, and the amount of risk she's taking in doing that. Do you think they're considering that when they're getting to the fight? Is this something that they should consider? What do you think about that? Like the risk the celebrity's taking by taking on a fight. I mean, celebrity versus celebrity. We can even argue against celebrity versus celebrity. They're going to train him for like maybe 3 or 6 months. Do you think they have a higher risk of getting hurt than someone who is, let's say, a professional?
No, because I don't think they can generate enough dangerous force to hurt each other. So, and Kardashian, if she really did fight a pro fighter, there's a referee right there. There's a corner right there with towels. I don't, your chances. I mean, how many kids put on boxing gloves and go in the backyard? I mean, their chance of getting hurt is probably better than two chicks, one of them being Kardashian, punching each other. I think the chances of that is very light. And then if a pro fighter fought a celebrity, you know, I don't know what a celebrity would fight. The only one I can think of would be those brothers, the Paul brothers, but they're pretty fucking good. Shit, they picked it up really quick, and I mean, they risk against real fighters. They go outside of. It's kind of weird that they want to fight a real fighter, but it's usually an MMA fighter. But they want to fight under boxing rules. So I mean, that's smart. I mean, there's no downside to that. I mean, so I think it's a good thing all the way around.
And didn't for the Paul brothers though, it's kind of different. Didn't their whole thing? I think their whole like a lot of their whole YouTube fame came from them doing something like that, right? I don't know everything
I don't
about their
know.
history,
I know nothing
but I
about
do
their
know
history.
I do know early on early on they started doing that to promote their YouTube channel. And I forgot who the first person was that they fought, but they went in and they found like an older retired fighter, and I think it was Paul. One of the brothers decided to step in the ring. That's how they kind of started their little niche to get more views. Um, so it's not like a lot of things that people don't know about the Paul brothers is that they have been training longer than the public thinks they have. A lot of people thought they were just something that they jumped into, but they've been training longer than that. That's why they look better than your average celebrity. And then here's the other thing. A lot of people misinterpret the idea of how they think it's easy to become a YouTuber is something that's like a fast track. Becoming a celebrity and becoming a celebrity on YouTube are challenges in itself. Like it's not exactly like not everyone that makes a YouTube channel becomes a celebrity. Like,
Yeah.
So another fight that took place was Ricky Gervais. Have you heard of Ricky Gervais? Gervais, I think that's his name. The comedian.
Yeah.
He took on a match in 2002 that lasted 90 seconds, and he ended up winning by TKO. A lot of boxing.
Who did he fight?
That's a good question. Let's see here. It's not even saying who he fought. Ricky Gervais. 90 seconds, and that's it. Here, let's find out who he fought. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais. Okay, celebrity boxing match. He fought a guy named Bovey. You can see the full fight on YouTube, by the way. It's up. It's up there. And let's see here. Going up against Anthea Turner's then husband, Grant Bovey. I don't know who these people are. I don't know who Anthea Turner is. I'm guessing he's some British celebrity as well, like two British celebrities. It sounds like a celebrity boxing match.
Like one.
Yeah. So they're both celebrities going at it.
Yeah, and then Geraldo Rivera when he fought Frank Stallone. That was a good fight, man. That was a good fight. I watched that. That was I think Frank Stallone won, but he was like 30 pounds, 25 pounds bigger. But fucking Geraldo Rivera, man, he fucking went in swinging. They were swinging. Yeah.
Frank Stallone versus Geraldo Rivera.
I was impressed with that one.
Eventually, the fight arrived. 16-ounce gloves. Wow. In 1992, huh? So they went at it. So then this has been happening for a while now.
You can knock the shit out of people with 16-ounce gloves. By the way.
Oh yeah. It's not to say it's any. Yeah, that's not. So, but it was mismatched, right? You said that it was.
It looked like it. I forget the details, but I'm almost positive that Frank Stallone won. But he had boxing. He did some boxing. He used to train at the gym with us over in Santa Monica. And people didn't even know who he was. He was training with us. He even sparred once in a while. And then we found out he was Stallone's brother. He's a really cool guy.
Well, so he was training with you at the Pit or at a different place that you trained at?
When I was boxing, this is before the Pit was even made. This was late 70s. This is late 70s. Early 80s. Stallone had a couple fighters, and they trained at the gym with us. And he came in occasionally just to check his fighters or say hi, whatever. But his brother worked out there, and we didn't even know it was his brother until one of the times Sly Stallone came in, and we realized that was his brother. And the guy, he was just like one of the fighters. But anyway, this was before he fought Stallone, so I knew he could fight. But I didn't know Geraldo could fight. Geraldo, he threw down, man. He threw down.
And so yeah, I probably would have because I'm pretty sure here Geraldo Rivera. Let's see. Um,
Celebrity boxing.
yeah, so yeah, like I would have supported that match for Geraldo Rivera just because he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I gotta support my people whenever they step in.
Okay.
So, looking at here at Jarvis, so he's another person. He decided to give his money to charity. He didn't keep the money. He didn't keep the money. So a lot of these celebrity matches, I don't know if it's going to be that way all the way down the line, but a lot of them seem to donate the money to charity. That's another thing I was going to say.
Why would they do that? Why? I mean, fighters don't they don't donate their money to charity. But whatever. I mean, that's more power to them.
Yeah. Number 4 is Idris Elba. Idris Elba is the guy who played. He was in the Marvel movie Thor. He's the guy who had he was the Guardian. He's an actor, and also he played in the TV show Luther. He had a professional kickboxing fight in 2016, and I actually saw this here in Japan because he was training in Japan as well when he got ready for that fight. He also did some training in Thailand as well, and he had his kickboxing match, and he won by knockout in the first round. So yeah. So
good.
What about
what's the downside? Like, it's kind of like people that think, I'm trying to think of the downside of it, but it's kind of like people that think, like with the UFC, like Dana wants to bring in, that wrestler guy. I think he had initials for his name, CJ or something. I forget his last name, but he
wait,
fought in the
something Punk.
UFC.
The something Punk, that guy?
CQ
What was
Punk or
it?
something. Yeah. Was it CQ
CK
Punk? CK Punk.
CM Punk. He wanted to bring in CM Punk.
And the only thing I don't like about that is, like, if a fighter goes outside and fights anybody, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if somebody comes into the organization, like, two fighters could go play football at the park and play against a football player, and that would be great. But the NFL would not, like, hire two fighters that have never played football just to have their celebrity out there. To me, that cheapens the brand. That cheapens the brand. I think, like, if you bring it, if they make it to the top on their merit, then that's great. And then if they had a football or whatever career before that, that's even better because it adds to their popularity, adds to ticket sales. But but to just have a football guy come in just for his name, never fought before, and then go to the highest level of fighting, the UFC. Whereas if a fighter wanted to go try to play football, he would start at the lowest, like, Canadian. And if they let celebrities that aren't fighters and didn't make it up by going through the ladder, so that's the only part that bothers me.
Okay, so there's a distinction here. We're saying you're making a distinction between celebrity boxing matches where they just have an exhibition fight as compared to just
or a real fight, Here's the because like the NFL or professional baseball, the UFC is like a league. It's like a league. It's not really, but it really is. So if you took any of those leagues and then just let someone play in that league into that league that's not qualified to, it lowers the brand of that league. If it's a boxer, boxers usually have individual promoters. Any kind of fight, it's not about the promoter, it's about the fights. with the UFC, a lot of it, a huge portion of this is about the UFC. The UFC is a bigger brand than their fighters. In boxing, usually the top ranked fighters are the bigger brand than the promoter thing, right?
Okay, so this goes back to even though, and I'm gonna keep saying this, it is fake news. It is fake news. But when it was being thrown around for a little while they were thinking about talking to Dana White to have that Zuckerberg fight be a UFC fight. That Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk was rumored that they were going to try to do that. They were going to try to go through the UFC for some of that. So, okay. So, what about Brock Lesnar?
Lowers it.
Did you catch that? I know it's kind of the internet's
Brock
kind of wonky.
Lesnar, he's kind of in the middle, but he already had a very qualified. He had a very qualified um, career. What? Oh, can you hear? Can you hear me?
It's
Can
freezing
you
right
hear
now.
me?
So I caught that Brock Lesnar had a qualified career. How did what I don't know too much about Brock Lesnar. How was his career before he came to the UFC?
He was a NCAA wrestler.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but he didn't have all the other attributes as well. Hard. Um, so he was kind of in the middle of that. He's kind of maybe he shouldn't be in, but then he proved that he was pretty competent. He was a force to be reckoned with. And when he hit the mat in the UFC, he hit the mat running. I mean, he did pretty good.
So
So
we have a few comments here.
okay.
Zen says, if that happens, I don't like both of them. I wouldn't want Zuckerberg to win because Musk is trying to disable the blocking feature on Twitter. So he's got beef with the way they run their social media. Old school karate guy says hello to his sensei and co-host. Hi, my name's Angelo. Thank you. And Brock Lesnar was decent in the UFC, which is what you were saying earlier. That Brock Lesnar was decent in the UFC. So how would you feel? And I know the Paul brothers already said no to this, by the way. The Paul brothers were talking about trying to get into the UFC to get fights, and the negotiations fell apart because one of the Paul brothers was trying to make it so that if his contract would somehow state what's that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. So one of the it fell apart because one of the brothers was trying to do something political with the UFC and how much all the fighters would get paid. So he said he'd take on the fight if all the fighters got paid more. And he was like trying to rebrand the way they pay the fighters. That fell apart right away.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. A lot of doing that. They're trying to unionize. It's like communism coming out of its coming from all over with that stupid shit. I mean, Dana pays the best in town, but everybody wants more for MMA, but only.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird. That's why it makes me wonder if that's even true. That was mostly a rumor. I don't know if that's what really happened or what happened there. But again, as we're getting ready to wrap up here, and if anybody has any questions about whether you feel celebrities should be fighting or any thoughts or questions, make sure to mention them now. A recap would be you're okay with the idea of exhibition matches, but you're not okay with the idea of a non-trained only. So there's like a real because the reason you didn't like CM Punk was because he was only a pro wrestler entertainer. He never had a background in fighting, so it wasn't like he was a wrestler
Yeah,
or a freak athlete
but
or anything.
but no, I think I think it would be fine if they went on the lower shows, but to bring somebody up that doesn't know really anything about fighting and then put them to the highest level of fighting in the whole world, it cheapens the brand,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. This goes with what I was saying earlier, like the idea that there's people trying to work their way up the ranks by actually fighting, and if a celebrity can just come in with their celebrity status, because they can
But
bring
yeah,
in a lot of pay-per-views
it,
for the fight. That's probably why Dana would agree to something like that, because it would bring a lot of pay-per-views and make a lot of money for the fight. It would put him in the
and
higher
that
bracket.
and I think that would lower the brand, but that's my only problem with that. I think if two guys want to fight celebrities in an MMA match, that's great. Somebody could promote it. They can promote it themselves. But I just don't think non-fighters. I think non-fighters belong in the UFC as much as non-football players belong in the NFL.
All right. So the distinction again for anybody who's been paying attention, this has to do more with, like you mentioned earlier, about how the UFC works and how boxing works.
Yeah,
Boxing being individual promoters and UFC being more of a brand. So that's
it's
I
like
think
a
that's
team.
where,
It's like
yeah,
yeah, it's like
it's like a team.
or it's like a league. It's like a league, like the NFL. It's not, but I think it's like the NFL.
Well, it's very similar, especially with the changes that were made after the Reebok deal with the ranks and how they get paid, right? So like it's no longer it very much is like a league. It very
Yeah,
much is like a league. All right, man. Well, we're almost to the end here, and we held these people hostage to find out
and
who
look,
the
let me
winner.
tell you, when the guy wrote right hook, a right hook is from the back. Okay, but if you're a southpaw and you're throwing your right hand, is not a right hook, it's still a lead hand hook. That's all it is. A right
Yeah.
hook is always from the back. I know that makes no sense, but that's my lingo.
Well, that makes sense to me. I'm a southpaw, so I always have to translate whatever a coach says to my understanding.
Backwards, yeah.
So, for those of you who know, or those of you who did know, last week we announced that there would be a left hook contest, lead hook contest. For those of you who need to translate
Our
this,
southpaw.
or if you're a southpaw like me, a lead hook contest. Um, and many people submitted to the Kaji Kembo Pit Ohana page, and they posted their best lead hook. Um, so we do have a lot of submissions, and I do want to thank everyone who sent their submissions and sent their hook into the page. And I'm trying to find out where, because like a lot of people best left hook contest. Like some people were just posting right on the page, was great, and some people were posting in the comments. So I just wanted to give a big thanks to the people who participated: Tom Wutava, Timothy Bruce. Um, Show me all the comments. More comments. Danny Bolden, thank you very much. Craig Laug, Drew Barasa, and
Wasn't Danny Bolden was like he had a good one, but he was like his right hand from the back, wasn't it?
he was doing a right hook, but he was orthodox, so he was
I
actually
know.
doing
It was actually
the
coming from the back. It was a
yeah.
good hook though.
It was good. It was a good hook. It looked like it had some power. There's a lot of trophies back there too. I think he's knocked out a few people already with that thing. Um, Drew Barasa, Tommy. Sorry, bro. Tommy C. Tommy. It's an SEA. I'll say Tommy C. And Tom Wutava and had one of his students going at it. Thank you very much for participating. Now, the winner of our contest goes to Isaiah Lane, 22 years old, of DSAL Boxing Academy in Hayward, California. His coach being Kajikembo black belt Mickey Lopez. Congratulations. It's funny. So, like, I want to let y'all know, like, John, I told John looked at this. He doesn't know anybody on here, but Mickey was really fired up and sent me a
No,
message.
I did. I have one person that's from the pit, Idaho.
The Pit, Idaho.
The yeah, the kid, the kid that was doing it. Did you see that kid?
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a pit thing on the back.
Oh, okay. No, no. A lot of people
He,
submitted from people from all over the place
no,
submitted.
but I'm just saying. One of my guys promoted. He submitted. So I just want to say next time, don't wear your gi and don't say you're from the pit, and then I can pick you.
So he didn't want to seem biased. So if you're from the Pit,
But I am.
don't
But I
wear your
am.
Pit T-shirt because he's gonna want to pick you. So if we have a
Yeah.
contest like that again, and you're one of John's students, don't wear your stuff
No,
because then he
because I
can't pick
want
you
to.
because you're being
Right. Because
biased.
I don't want to be biased, but I will be.
And I didn't. And again, I had no say in this. Um, I had no say in this, but I'm sure Mickey Lopez's coach is stoked. Send over the message to get your T-shirt size, and I'll send over the information later. And again, thank you to everyone who participated. So this wraps up this
That's
week's
it.
conversation. Should celebrities fight in the ring? Every Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we have conversations about martial arts. And yeah, that wraps it up. Anything you want to say before we go, John?
No, no. Thanks for coming, guys, and spread this around. It's going to be. We're going to keep it going. Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to get bigger and bigger, and we're going to talk about all kind of stuff. List something you want to talk about. I want to talk about the final advantage in fighting, which is going to be who's going to win. This is the final advantage. Or I wouldn't mind talking about a little more political stuff in the UFC, like if you have minimum pay or union for the fighters. I like those topics too. If you guys want to, but Angela and I are going to talk about it, and it'll probably be the final advantage. But we might throw in a little bit of should there be a pit? I mean, not a pit, an MMA union.
All right, cool. So we have that. Someone a long time ago. That should let you all know. I do listen to your comments. So we are going to talk about in the future more Godin history of Godin and Kaju Kembo
Okay.
stories. I had someone request that last time. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things I wanted to talk about more. Was it was Godin and Kaju Kembo, and we took care of the whole other request for the double leg takedowns. We referred that person over to the Pit Online Dojo or the Pit.tv, where you can sign up for online lessons. There's a whole video series on takedown and takedown defense that you can check out there.
Yeah. Or you can join the Pit Ohana at the pit.tv and you can go from white to black belt, or you can just audit the classes and you can do it all. So the pit.tv, check it out.
All right.
Good. All right, guys. I'll see you guys. All right, Angelo.
Take care.